I've just been down to my local gun shop, NSW Firearms, owned by Shane Cusack, and I was shocked by the impact these ridiculous new gun laws introduced at Christmas by the Minns government in New South Wales have had. These laws aren't even in force yet and may not be for months, but they've hammered gun shops. NSW Firearms turnover fell by 75% when Minns tabled the legislation. I've spoken to a handful of other dealers who've reported similarly disastrous results. Listen to what Shane has to say about it.
Up until they actually took the new bill to Parliament and that sort of thing, the business was flying along as per normal, but literally the 23rd and 24th, the business dropped off a cliff. Sales just pretty much stopped in the way of firearms. Normally, we're selling guns on Christmas Eve as last minute Christmas gifts and that sort of thing, but it literally put paid to that. And then, of course, coming back in those days between Christmas and New Year, PTAs had been stopped. It was literally 25% of what it has been in the past.
Now, clearly it's vital that gun shops be able to trade at sustainable levels, or New South Wales risks losing the limited number of shops currently operating. Here's Shane again.
My suggestion would be, no matter where you live, support your local gun shop. In this area, there's around 12,000 people locally, but in the greater area, about 25,000. We don't have the customer base of Sydney and the larger areas that have got millions of people. So if you're in the country, support your small local shops and they'll remain open. Otherwise, the savings you get from going to those big shops in capital cities and that sort of thing will be eaten up by the fact you've got to travel there all the time, because you won't have your little shop to go to anymore because the doors will have to close.
He pointed out his overheads don't change when business falls away.
Here, that obviously there's a lot of mines around locally and income is pretty high, and as a result commercial rents are very high, and that's the first thing. And then on top of that, we've got our electricity and insurance and that sort of thing. Insurance for the shop this year was 20 grand. Support your local shops and the doors will still be open. You'll be able to duck down and grab that one box of ammo you need and not have to drive an hour and a half or more to get what you need.
Now, a cynic might say the government's trying to kill off gun shops on purpose, and this time I reckon they might be right. There's certainly no discussion about providing financial support in a dire situation brought about by direct government action. Every thinking person can see the so-called terrorism bill will do nothing to stop terrorists obtaining weapons of any kind to carry out attacks. And yet here it is, not even in force yet, doing serious damage to local small businesses. I'll leave the final words to Shane.
Everyone is particularly angry. That's why partners are going through and getting their licences. And they're saying, we've been labelled criminals and terrorists, and we're not. So that's been the biggest overriding opinion from people. I'm 55 years old, never been in trouble with the law, and not likely to ever be in trouble with the law, but they've automatically criminalised me for someone else's actions. It's just crazy.